Hey everybody, welcome to this lecture. We're going to learn how to create a hosting account and also get you a free domain name so you can get started building your author website immediately. Before I begin, I just wanted to start off first by describing a hosting a little bit so everybody's on the same page on what it is and why you need it and what you're watching this video for. So, a web hosting service is a type of internet hosting service that allows individuals like you and myself, and even organizations, to make their websites accessible via the World Wide Web. So, for example, you're watching this video. This video is being posted online, which enables you to be able to view it from the comfort of your home, your office, even your iPad, or wherever you're viewing this material. So it's actually hosted on a server, all right? That's what makes that's what hosting is. It's the ability to connect the internet. It allows you to have a platform to build whatever it is that you want to build, whether it be your website or whatever, and that sort of thing. So as you can see on my screen here, I'm using the BlueHost hosting for this tutorial. The reason I'm using BlueHost is because it's actually one of the 20 largest web hosting companies in the world. It has somewhere around 2 million domains, and you're probably pretty familiar with them, at least here in the United States. If Bluehost is not available where you are, if you're watching this outside the United States or whatever country you may be in, I suggest you use your search engine and just find out what hosting companies are available in your country and try to choose one that's the best. I would at least choose one of the top 5 for sure. Also, you want to know how they work, how affordable they are. But I would definitely choose one of the top 5 for sure if you can't get Bluehost, because you want to know that you have a reliable company, and really, be mindful not to go so cheap, like super low cheap. Some companies have this $10 a year thing, which is really crazy. But you want to be with a company that's definitely going to survive. You definitely want to be with a company so that you have some type of reliability, some type of support team in the event that you do need to call someone. At some point in time, you will need to speak to somebody. So being able to have the opportunity that someone's going to pick up the phone is worthwhile. So enough of that. Let's go ahead and get started. So let's look at hosting. There are actually 3 things I want to talk about. There's shared hosting. So there's shared hosting, cloud hosting, and what you see here in the screen, they also have WordPress hosting. So first, I want to talk about WordPress hosting, which is a product by BlueHost that claims to make your WordPress website super fast, and it's about $9,000 a month to start. All right. I think even that's a little bit much, but their premium package is even more enhanced, and then they have an ultimate, but it's definitely an expensive option. I don't think anybody really needs to do that right now. I think that there are better options, but one of them is going to be the cloud option. Okay. But I wanted to at least acknowledge that they do have a WordPress program, and anybody that started out and is new to this knows that they don't, and who doesn't have if you're new to this and you're just starting out, you don't have a big following, meaning that you're not going to have millions and millions of hits on your website every day. There's no reason for you to go spend that kind of money. So let's just do a little bit right now. You can always change later. So we're going to start small. You can always go big later. The other options that we have are shared and cloud, which are pretty much which is everybody's everyday use. You're going to see all your basic options on these programs that Bluehost offers the most. So when you see something that says hosting even $2.95 a month, it's shared hosting. It's very calm. It's a very good service, and it works great. There's also cloud hosting, and cloud hosting is growing. Okay. And eventually everybody's going to be on the cloud. So consider this. It's about $6.95 a month. The service I would recommend is about $8.95 a month because it gives you a little bit more RAM, which is the access memory. So if you need a little bit more RAM to move things a little bit more quicker, but it's a good option. Cloud is going to be where the majority of companies are in the next 2 to 3 years. So that's a good reason. And so here we can see why it's safer. It definitely is much faster, and you can put all your information in a little bit quicker. So give it that some consideration if you want to stick with the easy hosting, something that's just, brand new. It's very basic. Again, you can change to a cloud any other time. Look at the shared hosting here. In the shared hosting, you have 3 different options. All right. And personally, I'm starting off with the basic WordPress website author page. I'm not sure, um, about having a lot of content. And I probably won't be blogging either. So I'm just going to go basic. It's a simple hosting plan. It's inexpensive. You get about 50 gigabytes of space, which is a ton of space, and it should suit you just fine. If you're going to blog on your website, I'm telling you, you might as well go, right there because you're probably going to need it. So it makes a lot of sense to have at least the unlimited, unmetered space. That is, unmetered space means there's no limit. So you can have as much space as you want to give you a little bit of thought. Again, you can change at any time to one of these different options whenever you want. That's the beauty about being able to choose your hosting packages. So let's select one of the hosting packages here, and we're going to let's select this one here. All right. And I already have a domain. I'm just going to take you through some processes. So just so you know, your domain is your URL or your website name. This is where people are going to find you. All right. And if you're working on being an author, self-published, or traditional, whatever it is, this is where you need to be able to set up your name. I highly recommend that you use your personal name. So I typed in Charisma. Well, actually, my name, is Charisma Dezzoni, but it's really super long. So I just trimmed it down and said Charisma, the author. For folks who have names that are a little bit more generic, like Susan Baker. There may be multiple Susan Baker, so I would suggest at least putting a tag on the end, Susan Baker author, something that kind of sets you out so when people go and type your name in a queue for a search, they're able to find you, and because you've basically secured that author on the end of the name, and that name stands out. And more than likely, that name you would have the author on the end be more readily available than just typing in your first and last name. So you may fall into that category where your name is not available. That's why it's great to have the author on the end. And in that case, I typed in I'm only using my first name, but I put the author. So, which gives me a much better a better judge of making sure that my website is available, although Charisma Dezzoni is very unique. All right, but having keywords is really awesome. It helps you stand out. So when people do your search, like I said, and they're going to be able to see, that, hey, you wrote this book, all right, hey, this is John Johnson, okay? Well, I guess, on Google, you have over 10 billion results for John Johnson. So, but if you had John Johnson author, now you've really trimmed it down. And if your website or your domain name has your first, last name plus an author, people are going to find you much quicker. So go ahead and select the domain. Click next, and here you have some additional information that you're going to enter about yourself and everything. Now, they do offer the program for $295 a month. However, with this hosting site, you do have to pay the whole fee up front for the year, all right? And when you do that, make sure that you remove all the extras, take all that stuff off. You know, you don't want it. Okay, but you're going to take all that stuff off. Oh, there it goes. Take all of that stuff off. And then you're going to enter your credit card information down there. And you see the total comes out really cheap. It's $106 and it's good for 1 year. Pretty inexpensive to have a hosting for 1 year. Pretty cheap way to set up your, actually to be able to set up your company on your business and see how it goes. Fill in information. I've already done this. I've read the agreement and I've submitted. I'm just going through the process with you so you can go ahead and get yourself set up. And once you have done all of that, you'll see it on your dashboard in a few minutes. And that will be it. Now, a couple of things I want to talk about here. First, let me see something. So here's our dashboard on BlueHost. Now, a couple of things I want to talk about here. First, if you were given the ability during your checkout to install WordPress, then you're all set up. You're all set. You should receive an email from BlueHost with your WordPress URL login and your dashboard login and the password. Check your email. If you haven't done so, you'll need that. That's where you're going to build your website. If you were not given the opportunity or missed the opportunity to install WordPress, then we need to do that now. So on your dashboard with your BlueHost dashboard, you'll scroll down to website, click install WordPress. You'll be brought to this screen, and that's where you'll continue your installation and you'll select your domain. Then you're going to click next. All right. And I can't do that because I've already got connected. Yeah. All right, but I can't connect because I've already connected. But you'll click on next, you'll go through the process and it'll install WordPress. It'll send you a login and password for the WordPress dashboard. And that's where you're going to pick up, that's where we will pick up on the next series of videos when we're doing the purchase of the Divi theme. Install it and do a little walk around with the WordPress. That is for the hosting, and that we're going to do for the hosting and the domain name. I hope you love this video, and I'll see you on the next one, guys.